Hello everyone, Jere Mills here with Mills Chiropractic and Wellness Center. And this month we are really just kind of diving into sports and sports injuries and weekend warriors and all that. And today what I wanted to do was just take kind of a step back. We're going to talk about some research, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the history, a little bit of chiropractic in sports. Chiropractic has been used by sports professionals for well over 100 years. But what was interesting is up until about 30 years ago, it was kind of as a secret, right? When I first went into chiropractic and as I was first coming out, I thought I was going to go into sports chiropractic and performance and all that because, being an athlete, I really enjoyed working with the athletes, right? Now, what I didn't understand back then, and I'm going to age myself a little bit, but I'm getting up there a little bit. But when it comes to professional sports teams, there's a lot of politics that go on, okay? And so what used to be the case is that they had a medical team that was primarily designed to treat an injury. When an athlete got injured, they went to the medical team. Now, one of the things you have to understand about professional athletes is that in a way they are kind of owned by the team, and the team gets to decide who they see, when they see, how much they see them, and a lot of this is directed through the medical team, and the team trainer is kind of the head person. And so as chiropractic started to get moved into many professional teams, they didn't really know where to put us. And one of the big proponents for chiropractic that really kind of opened a lot of doors and made it more well known was actually one of my favorite players as I was an athlete as a wide receiver was Jerry Rice. He's one of the first ones that came out and just demanded that they put chiropractors on the teams. But what they couldn't quite figure out is where to put the chiropractors. Were they there for injury treatment? Were they there for performance? What was kind of the goal? Because historically, like I said, the medical staff of these pros teams primarily focused on helping athletes recover from the injury, and improving performance was mostly up to the coach, and nobody really knew how to prevent injuries. And so that's been kind of the unique bridge that chiropractic has served in the sports community, is that we kind of touch all three. We can help you recover from an injury, we definitely help prevent injuries, and then we can help with sports performance. That's what Jerry Rice was kind of promoting back in the day. He was crediting a lot of his sports performance to the fact that he got regular chiropractic care, even though the team may not have liked it because there was not a chiropractor on staff, and they really liked controlling all these things. And so what we now know, though, and the research has really panned this out over the last couple of decades, and especially in the last 15 years or so, is that when we get an adjustment, not only does it help the processing of the brain, so we know where our body is in space better, we can make better adjustments and basically perform better, but that also has a great big impact on preventing injuries, right? If we're better able to control our body in space, we can protect ourselves better when we get hit from the side or tackled unexpectedly, or maybe our ankle hits the ground just a little bit wrong. We can prevent that from becoming a huge injury because our body can process that just that split second faster, and that's really all it takes. And when we're talking about peak athletes, that's the difference, right? Like just those milliseconds of adaptation and change, right? But one of the other things that's come about in the last number of years is that it actually improves muscle force and contraction, so they can move a little bit faster as well. So not only do they process faster, but they can actually move faster, which obviously that has a big impact on performance as well. And so that's kind of a little bit of the background of where chiropractic can come in. But when I was working with these athletes, one of the cool things is they're kind of freaks to begin with, right? And they're looking for that extra edge a lot of times. My weekend warriors, most of you guys use me to try to prevent an injury rather than peak performance, right? But the nice thing is it doesn't really matter what the goal is. We get the same outcomes, right? Like better processing, better coordination, better ability to prevent an injury, better performance while we're doing the sport. Those are all the same side effects. We can't control it, and those are kind of pretty good side effects, right? And so, one of the things I really recommend is regular care. If we can prevent the injury, that's always one of the hardest things with what I do is how do we measure what doesn't happen, right? Like if I'm really successful at my job, basically we don't see the injury, we don't see the fall, because you were able to catch yourself, or maybe you were able to gracefully fall without hitting something so hard that you break something. And so a lot of times when I'm successful, like I said, we never know what we actually did. But when we look at the research and we look at a lot of people, we know that chiropractic care has this impact. We just don't know where it had it, right? And so anyway, if you're a weekend warrior, or you just want to go for a walk and you just want to be that's about the athletic performance you want to be, it doesn't matter. Chiropractic can help. So I know this one was a little longer. We got into a little bit of the history, and I could have gone into a lot more with it, but I hope you learned something. I hope you got something from it. I hope you got something that you can apply. So anyway, until next time, stay healthy, stay well.